So a little bit of an update on the transfer of Sheffield Wednesday into new ownership. Apparently now there's 10 parties that have shown proof of funds. 10. You know, and we had Voldemort saying, nobody wants to buy a club, they can't meet asking price, you know. But administrators have had, you know, all these groups showing proof of funds of up to 50 million quid, so what are you going on about? Anybody's guess. And enough about him, let's not talk about him. So 10 have now shown proof of funds. Apparently a second group's been having a look around the stadium and meeting folks and this and other, so progress being made there. I think the deadline is the 28th for everybody to, you know, show the proof of funds or one thing or another, and then a sort of bidding process will take place. So quite exciting with that. As I said, I'm not getting into gossip of who the parties might be. As I said, there's 10 of them. We know who some of them probably are. And as I said the other day on another video, there'll be groups, serious groups out there, who just keep anonymous until the deal actually goes through. So exciting stuff there. And I think it's for the first week of December, something like that, when the final thing might happen. So looking forward to an exciting new year. And in the football side of things, a much needed international break has now begun for Wednesday. We've had a tough 3-game week, we've got a very thin squad, and those players out there looked absolutely drained against Southampton. They've given absolutely everything this season in every game, and there were some tired legs. Except for Wednesday, 6 of those players are not going to get the feet up over this international break because they've received call-ups. Now 2 of them, Granger and Stretch, they're Welsh under-19s, probably get away with playing some extra games. But for 4 of those first team players, they're going to be playing even more. And they're in positions where you're really doing a lot of running as well. So the first one, Jan Valery, he's been called up for Tunisia. They've got some friendly games, I've got him here. Mauritius on Wednesday, Jordan on Friday, and then Brazil on Tuesday. Jan Valery's been playing in middle at Park with Barry Bannon, one of the hardest positions on the pitch. So much ground to cover, so much happens in there in that battleground. He could do getting his feet up, but he's got these 3 games on the horizon. And it's great for them, don't get me wrong. Playing for your country has got to be one of the highest honours, but we're so thin, could really almost do we had them getting these goals. Cadamartri has been called up for Jamaica. They've got games against Trinidad and, how am I going to pronounce that? I'm not very good. Caracho. Their games on Wednesday and the Friday. And then the 2 young lads at wing-back. So Harry Mas called up for England under-19s. Sean Fizier called up for Zimbabwe. Or Zimbabwe, I always prefer to say it like that. I don't know which is right. And wing-back, one of the hardest positions on the park. Up and down, so much ground to cover, and those extra games are really going to take it out of them. Now I know the young lads, and there's a natural fitness on top of your match fitness, but still, it's a big ask. So Fizier, Zimbabwe's got games against Algeria and Qatar, and Hamas under-19s have got Lithuania on the Wednesday, Latvia on the Saturday, and then Scotland on the Tuesday. As I said, it's a great honour to be called up for your country, but in terms of this 2-week window where they could have a breather, not for them lads. And Wednesday's really gonna feel the pinch with that, I think. Now apparently the administrators in talk with the EFL about maybe getting some bodies in. We've heard that I think Cooper has been rumoured to be training down there, and Jack Hunt training down there as well. Amazingly, could he come back for the 3rd stint with the Owls? Maybe answer the call. They've got to do something about that though. One of the things that the EFL said at the beginning of the season was, when we looked like we might be struggling to compete in fixtures and complete fixtures, was that they wanted clubs to be competitive. You cannot be competitive with a threadbare squad. I think we've put the same 11 out, was it 3 matches on the spin? There's players in there who's played every single game over the last 2 months, so hopefully some sort of agreement can be reached and we can get some bodies in. And I'm not saying it's going to be bodies that are going to come in and suddenly we're going to start winning games or they're going to be amazing quality, but simply just a case of getting bodies in so people can have a breather. And as I said, especially in those sorts of areas, you know, the centre of the park. It's really tough in there. And the two wing back positions, as I said, there's so much running in there. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd all like a 20-goal striker. The likelihood is we're not going to get anywhere near one of them, but we do need some reinforcements, because the more games go on, with the effort the lads are putting in, the more we're going to start picking up them little strains and them little niggles. You know, as I said, Bannon's playing with a strapping round his knee already. He's 35-year-old. And the older you get, of course, when you don't pick up these niggles, they take longer to recover from. So hopefully some agreement can be reached there with EFL. Good luck to the lads who are playing in international duty. As I said, it's a great honour to be called up for your country. But they could have probably done with a breather.